sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances, not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap, all in one, all for you. Tap in, zap in.
Gambians are welcoming the new year with a wave of price reductions on essential commodities. Now, we ended 2025, if you remember, on Wednesday, with Jah Oil's cement back in the market, slashing the cost of a bag from $650 to $415. Now, as 2026 begins, consumers have more relief at the pumps. From January the 1st, the price of petrol has dropped by $1 to $81.50 bututs per liter, while diesel now sells at $84.60 bututs per liter, also down by $1. Kerosene has seen the sharpest cut, down by $4.66 butut to $68.51 butut per liter. And the good news doesn't stop there. According to Finance Minister C.D. Keita, the price of rice, a staple in Gambian households, has also fallen significantly at Jah Oil outlets. A wholesale bag now costs $1,650, while retail stands at $1,700, marking a reduction of $500 per bag. And in fiscal news, Minister Keita confirmed that the Gambia Revenue Authority, the GRA, has surpassed expectations. As predicted by the Commissioner General last week when he spoke to me, 2025 revenue collection exceeded the $23 billion target by more than $2 billion. In other words, in 2025, the GRA has succeeded in collecting at least $25 billion. They were set a target of only $23 billion. And as CD put it to me, CD Keita, the finance minister that is, you see, Peter, I'm quoting him verbatim, you see, Peter, together these developments mark a promising start to 2026, offering Gambians both economic relief and renewed confidence in the country's fiscal performance. You wouldn't disagree with that, would you, Sankareh?
Yeah, based on what you read, absolutely. Yeah. I would concur.
Because for a very long time, the cost of living was a major issue in all conversations.
Yeah, it is.
Especially when people had your likes.
It's a global problem, all over the world. People lament. But to begin with, a happy new year to you and your staff.
Thank you.
To the president and the first family, the entire country, to our listeners in and out of the Gambia. It's my pleasure to get back to your studio.
So when it was the 1st of January, did you call him and say, how do you call him? How do you address him? Because I hear people say principal, my principal. It reminds me of my days in school, And the other say, yeah, chief chief executive officer, CEO.
I call him different names. I call him Cherno. I call him Jomsare.
Cherno?
Yes. In the Fula language, Cherno suggests some, reverence, given to people, like they say Maudo, Cherno.
Yeah, Maudo is elder, not so?
Yeah, Maudo, yeah, but not just an elder, but some revered elder.
Okay.
Okay. You can be my Maudo, but I may not have that reverence.
Some fellows call me Maudo Peter.
Yeah, exactly. They have reverence for you. That's why. So I have no single title for him.
And I took that simply to mean.
If it is official, it's His Excellency President Adam Barrow. But then, yeah.
And when you call him Your Excellency, does he,
No. Let me say this, Peter. It was Abraham Lincoln, who said that while all men can withstand adversity, to test the true character of a person, give him power. I have never ever seen any change of character in Barrow, having worked for him now from 2018 to date. All I see is smile, laughter, chemistry, and charisma.
He gets along with practically everybody.
I have never seen Barrow being pompous or being arrogant, But just even the other day, he told me one of his biggest problems is to blast a person, no matter how wrong. So what he would normally do is to call you in-house and talk to you as a normal human being. That is the person I see in Adam Barrow. A very simple, easygoing, if you want to call him a village boy, or what the American musicians would call a country boy.
That's what his book calls him.
Yeah, a country boy, Yeah, he personifies the country boy, a very down-to-earth person, very simple, somebody with very infectious humility, So, I mean, I always take solace in the fact that this is the primus inter pares, the most important person.
Oh, some Latin to start.
Yeah. You sit with this guy and you think like you're sitting with an ordinary villager. And that's the beauty of working with Barrow, honestly. That's my very honest rendition based on what you ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
Irrespective of those qualities, those very nice, positive qualities, goodness me, did he take some beating in 2025 from analysts, critics, political opponents on various issues, some of which you've been speaking to him?
Absolutely. And beatings are justifiably true and correct because Adam Barrow came to power and unsat a tyrant, in a country where even when you went into a taxi cab, you got to be mindful what you said. You have to look the other side and see who was watching or who was listening. This guy came and reduced that dictatorship, that tyranny, into a tabernacle of democracy. Today, whether you like it or not, whether you appreciate it or not, whether you see it or not, Adam Barrow is making waves. Across the Gambia, people are free to speak. There's a latitude of freedom. You could see whatever you want to say. Radio stations have proliferated. TV stations, TikTokers, Snapchatters, Facebookers, WhatsAppers, Facebookers, whatever you call them, So in a sense, it is conceivable, it is acceptable that this was what he bargained for. He came to change the polity. He came to change the landscape of this country. That for 22 years we endured tyranny. We were abused, misused, and then destroyed in a sense.
Okay, let's start the conversation there because I suppose you would have raised the issue of the audios emanating from Equatorial Guinea every now and again, meddling into Gambian politics by this same guy he unsat or unseated in, 2016? 2016.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you talk about one prosecuting Yaya Jammeh and why the audios keep flowing?
Yeah. Before I met him, people had suggested, people who are close to me, good Gambians with a lot of knowledge and experience, were also curious if actually there'll be a finality to the problem about the alleged atrocities, the murders and the banditry that pervaded in this country for 22 years. So after the normal greetings, one of the things we talked about was whether actually there'll ever be, a hybrid court, as it has been repeated. And I'm happy to report that based on my conversation with him, they have already identified a British citizen who will be prosecuting these crimes. He'll be the chief prosecutor. Naturally, in an enormous, legal case like this, you expect to have all kind of lawyers and judges from a strata, an array of legal, minds who would converge actually in Banjul eventually in 2026. So there will be a hybrid court in Banjul that will prosecute, that will try crimes allegedly committed between July 22nd, 1994 to the last day the tyrant exited power. So he lamented actually the withdrawal of the American.
Yes, I was going to say, what about funding? Because we expected that among those who would provide funding, apart from ECOWAS, the Americans would help and maybe other donor partners of the country.
Yeah, as it stands, the Gambia was able to secure money that would foot the bill for 1 full year, and efforts are on the foot to try other avenues and see what could be done, for the rest of the time it's going to take. Because, legal cases could be like geological forces. They're very cumbersome, they're time consuming. You don't expect the court, to begin 2026 and wrap up before December 2026. So we're looking for a long haul towards justice.
If anyone needed an example, the case of Hussein Habre
exactly
across the border in Senegal,
precisely,
ran for years and years.
Saddam Hussein in Iraq, and but then the withdrawal of the Americans, according to President Barrow, has significantly dented the finances. That would have gone into the procurement and other logistical support for this huge legal enterprise that is the Office of the Prosecutor, Chief Prosecutor for the trial of crime, for the trial of crimes committed or perpetuated and perpetrated under 22 years of tyrannical rule here in the Gambia. So it is going to take off. So victims will begin to see some justice. People were very apprehensive because, like I said, justice takes time. But eventually we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So skeptics will be proven wrong in 2026.
I wouldn't say proven wrong because you don't blame them. They have lost loved ones. Some of them have been tortured, battered. Relatives disappeared. Detained incommunicado. So naturally, you can identify with their resentments and frustrations. So I wouldn't say they'll be proven wrong. They would be satisfied. Well, it's difficult to even reach satisfaction. Once you lost a relative, you can never bring that person back.
People talk about closing the chapter. You can never close the chapter on a relative that is lost. And while we're on the subject of American sponsorship, the Americans are also in the mix, as far as national conversation is concerned, by virtue of the visa restrictions slapped on us.
Yeah, he takes it very seriously. He really worries about it, and in the coming weeks or days, the Gambia government, with the support of the President's Office and the Foreign Ministry and other good actors, would begin to engage the American government, either through the embassy or the State Department, and see if there is a fix to this anomaly. Because the Gambia and America have endured very long-lasting diplomatic relations, since independence. And we are both democracies. And for the 22 years before President before President Barrow's arrival, to the seat of power, the Americans were very apprehensive about the situation in the Gambia. Now you have a triumphant democracy, a fledgling democracy. I think democracies never go to war, they say in America. So Gambia is a democracy.
Try telling Trump that.
Yeah, America is a democracy. Some people would agree or disagree. Gambia is a democracy. Agree, disagree. And then there should be some consensus what could be done so that this visa restriction, could be a thing of the past. So President Barrow is very serious about it, and he will do everything within his power or his mandate to make sure that there is a diplomatic fix to this problem.
Apparently, Gambia is at fault. Take your, unwanted residents in the United States back.
That
seems to be one of two problems. The other one is Gambians overstaying, their visas in the U.S.
Yeah, you see, it's easier said than done. I have lived almost the greater part of my life as an immigrant.
Oh, definitely the greater part of your life.
Yeah, as an exile. Left this place very young. Return, maybe graying somehow. You see, but
gray
yeah, I do have some little grays here and there. But the thing is, it's easy to say that people who overstayed their visas should be returned so that Gambians could go. That is just, it has a very superficial interpretation of the situation. Imagine a Peter Gomez, hypothetically, who left this place in 1994, okay? Either his brother was killed or Peter was detained and tortured. He fled the jurisdiction and went to America. He had a genuine case for political asylum, for fear of persecution in the Gambia, where he to return because of the tyrannical state of the country. And that person, only because of the sloppy work of a lawyer, or because of his inability to pay a lawyer, decided to take care of his own case, went to court, could barely speak good English, he was just a political activist, couldn't have a compelling reason, regardless of everything that had happened to him. And that person now, happens to have a wife and children in the United States, he has a family, and because he could not convince the immigration judges or the immigration officers to be granted political asylum, he becomes statusless. My lawyer told me never say somebody is illegal, because 90% of the people who come to America, then they came legally. So they are not illegal. They overstayed their status. So I wouldn't call them illegals. Okay. Trump would call them a bunch of illegals. So this is the nightmare. You have a wife, you have children, going to high school, going to university. All their life, they lived in America. Now you want to uproot the father and the mother. Who is going to take care of those kids? So it's a very complicated, very complex.
The situation has since changed in the Gambia. You just called us a democracy, and
no. It's not about the. No, it's not about the.
You talked of the democratic qualities and values of the head of state. So Gambians have no reason
I even told you the Gambia has become a tabernacle of democracy,
Yeah,
using your own Christian metaphor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the tabernacle.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, it is easier than just Gambia is a democracy. I'm talking about the family, uprooting. I use the word uprooting. Yeah. A family established, and consolidated in America, calcified in America, to take that family and just bring them back. It's a very painful, very agonizing experience. I can tell you, majority of those people, except for those who have criminal records. Yes, for those I cannot speak about. But for those who just by dint of unluckiness, they are very lawful people. They are very God-fearing. Every day they are within their powers, the little money they have, they're trying to pay lawyers to see what they could do to change their status. But at some point, it's a point of no return. The legal system, you have exhausted all remedies, So that's the situation. So these are some of the things that the president and his government and all of us have to sit down and consider and see what packages, for instance, could be available. In some places, you could create a package for people, convincing packages for them to return to Gambia. So it's not going to be easy. There are many Gambians who have overstayed their visas there. And many people have also committed crimes, like I said, not only in Gambia and even across the world. So this is the situation. It's a very nightmarish situation, to put it mildly.
Okay. So Barrow's promise is the government will engage the Americans with a view to resolving this issue as soon as possible.
It's not only a promise, it's his determination.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because we are here.
Let's put it this way. President Barrow is determined to fix this anomaly.
Okay. You're his spokesman, so whatever you tell us, we will.
No, I'm not going to use promise, and then they say failed promises and all that. So you are using promise, I'm using determination.
Determination.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Because we're hearing rumors that some Gambians in the past few days with valid visas have tried to enter the United States and have been turned back.
I have also heard about it last night, that people who had valid visas, not only in Gambia, but another country, close to home, in the absence of evidence, it is difficult to go and say that country's name, but I understand in Brussels, I was told, because of a late notice received from their headquarters, had actually advised Gambians who were bound to the United States to wait a while until some consideration is done, even though they had been issued valid U.S. visas. Last night, out of desperation, I tried to contact the American chargé. I guess it was New Year's. I'm not even sure he's here. I called the assistant. He said he was at a party. He was going to call back. He never called. So after I leave this place, I'll be calling the American embassy and see and look at the veracity of that story. Yeah. But as of now, I also had the same thing that you had.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even Gambians with valid U.S. visas are advised to hold on any travel plans.
From the Gambia.
Yes.
Based on what you had. And that's what I had last night. And it's subject to verification.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Another thing in 2025 was this backway issue, this illegal migration to Europe. And in the past few weeks, it's really been bad. And one particular Gambian North Bank region village in the news consistently has been Janak.
I know.
Have you ever been to Janak?
Many, many times.
Yeah.
My uncle or my uncles,
Yeah.
they had a lot of cattle in Nyomi, in a village called Saregalo. Actually, I'm the first boy in that village to go to school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so in the dry season.
Saregalo. How big is Saregalo?
When I lived in Saregalo, it was 7 compounds, all the same mom and dad, uncles, and whatever. Okay, so now every time after Christmas, we will all flock and cross the Kanuma Bridge and then cross to Jinak.
You're using biblical language
Yes.
while shepherds flock by night.
Yeah, so we would go to Jinak.
Christmas
Kajata, Jatako, Niji, Bara. So as a boy, I actually was a herdsman. So uncle and I and his kids, we would go and stay in Jinak for about 4 months. So during the dry season, Jinak was a very good avenue because it provided greener pastures for the cattle. So Saregalo had so many cattle that in 1975 there was a fire outbreak. You know what we used to dose the fire?
No.
Milk.
Seriously?
Milk. When
You're using milk to douse fire?
Yeah, because we had abundance of it. You see, when you are brewing a tire, and this thing they call lait.
Yes.
You know lait?
Yes.
the milk.
Yes.
Yeah. You just imagine when you have a...
Lait is just the French word for milk.
I know, yeah. Just imagine when you have the lait, spilling over the kettle pot, what happens? Automatically goes off. So milk is a very good, what do you call it?
Fire extinguisher.
Extinguisher?
Very good. I didn't know that. But I'll never use milk to extinguish
because
fire.
you don't have enough of it. We didn't have a fire service at Saregalo.
But there's something else that Janak is known for that maybe you don't want to discuss.
Well,
farming-wise.
Yeah, family-wise.
Yeah. What are they most popular for?
What you know and you don't want to talk about, say it.
No,
say it so we can talk about
I'm
it.
asking the question.
No, say it so we can talk about
What
it.
is the most farmed crop?
Oh, cannabis sativa.
There you go. So,
Okay.
But as I said, tragically, in the last few weeks,
Yeah,
they've
absolutely.
been known for this illegal, irregular migration thing.
Yeah, and for Janak Peter, probably one of the most hard-working people I have ever seen in my life. In the early morning hours, at dawn, the women are at the furrows. They're farming whatever they could farm. And the men were at sea, predominantly seafarers. In the 1970s, when I grew up in Nyomi, this was the Janak I knew. Very fertile land, abundance of, lost vegetation. And the cattle really, they like that. It is quite natural that in any given situation, people out of desperation, human beings, out of desperation would do anything to survive. It was Masrui who said that if abundance is the mother, of inertia, then deprivation is the mother of, necessity. They say what? Necessity is the mother of what?
Invention.
Invention, yeah. So in Africa, where we have a lot, and they say there's inertia. In the Western world, where many things were missing, they were working hard.
Okay, so how did Barrow address this question of irregular migration and the increasing numbers?
Yeah, since Barrow came to power, this is one of the inherited liabilities of the past administration. In fact, Peter, even as we were kids, people used to go to the seaport of Banjul and they would stow away. In those days, it was very minimal. Yes. If you read, that's
why Liverpool is so popular.
Exactly.
Because they stored away from here
Exactly.
and turned up in Liverpool.
Exactly. So
most of them anyway.
Your friend, our common friend, Samsidin Sar, he authored a book in the 1980s, Meet Me in Conakry.
Yep.
Meet Me in Conakry was a forerunner to what is happening now. If you read that book well and you interpret the book, you see exactly Samsidin Sar is looking at a future Gambia. Hardly would people read a novel, and some people don't read between the lines. But if you read that book well, you will see the author, Sirif Samsidin Sar, is preparing Gambians for a future situation, a wave where Gambians would just be migrating, and today they migrate, and they migrate big time. The colossal catastrophe of the migration, Peter, is worrisome. not only to Adama Barrow, but to every parent.
So how does he plan to tackle that?
Well, there's no, Adama Barrow, I told you here over and over, is not a magician. He doesn't have magic solutions to this problem. So what he has...
But we expect him to have solutions to our problems,
yes,
and this is a problem.
People like you, with the radio, with the power of the microphone, our parents and the government can come together and have a convergence and see how to fix this problem. So this problem is beyond government. Government can provide vehicles, police officers, immigration officers, but where you have families themselves supporting this kind of, or on underground railroad, I would call it. You have parents saving money to send their kids overseas. You see kids who do very well in school, but they just motivated sometimes to go to Europe. So that one, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist. Simply, I'm a human being. I'm also trying to do my best. But for me, and for Barrow, and for every Gambian, I think a convergence, with the immigration specialists, we have all kind. Every time they come to your program, a lot of money has been disbursed for those people who return. But it looks like every effort to stop it exacerbates the situation. Just last night, I received a press release from the Defense Ministry talking about, another boat capsized in Janak we just talked about.
Yes.
So Janak has become the
staging post of these whatever you call them, human traffickers or whatever.
Yeah.
What about the argument that our young people are leaving in droves because of the economic situation?
Yeah, I told you, in a democracy, people are free to conjecture, to argue, to debate, and to analyze.
Do they have a point?
Those people who argue, that's their point. My point of departure is that President Barrow inherited a colossal catastrophe. This migration, Peter, there was even a Gambian female...
Yeah, but not the numbers that we're seeing
There
now.
was a Gambian female footballer who died at sea when I was in America. Barrow wasn't president then. So his government has done everything. But like I said...
Yeah, but the numbers we are seeing now...
The numbers are increasing because Gambia, the population, the demographics of the Gambia have also increased significantly. You have to agree. When you and I went to school, our population was less than 1 million people. Today we
was only in the hundreds of thousands.
Exactly. So now you have a booming population, with all the situation around the world, the war in Ukraine and the catastrophe of the global economy. A poor country like the Gambia. Where does Gambia? Where do you situate Gambia at this crossroads? So this is the situation. If Adama Barrow had got his wish or gotten his wish, this thing would have stopped day one. He has consistently been.
Well, that was the belief, because I keep reminding us that while his victory was being celebrated, you saw young people, peel off their shirts and wave in the air. No more back way. Unfortunately,
no more back way. Yeah. And we hope and pray that in this new year we will have the solution that would eventually. Because I don't think you could ever stop backway. Mankind has.
Or do you feel that the backway issue has been politicized rather than people coming together to try to tackle it?
Who feels that?
I'm saying, I'm asking, do you feel that it has been politicized?
No, I do not feel that. I mean, it is apparent. You see people dying every day, and why do they die? Do they want to die? No, they don't want to die. They want to have better lives, Peter. Every human being wants something better. So I'm not going to sit here and blame dead people or their parents. Why do people take 5 family members and put them in a boat, in a dog-out boat, and then tell them to to go to Europe where parents have never been to? So it's better life. So what do we do? Come together, opposition, government, NGOs, stakeholders, have a convergence, sit down and see. These have been happening. Okay. These have been happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. On Friday, the 2nd of January, the first Coffee Time program of 2026, we have the spokesperson. I prefer spokesman, but then, they say I have to be politically correct. The spokesperson of the government of the Gambia. Did you talk about the Meet the People tour? Because that's another thing for which he took a lot of stick.
Yeah, I know. So what are you suggesting? You're suggesting town hall?
Not me suggesting.
No, I'm saying, what are you suggesting? Town hall?
Suggesting? I have no.
What is the suggestion out there?
I have no idea. What did you speak about? Did you ask him about his
I did. We talked about, a number of things. Yes, the town hall argument, traditionally African society, Gambian society, we have this Bantaba situation where people would converge or gather under a huge tree and, talk about, issues affecting the village, the community, and society at large. Gambia has grown. This is no longer a village situation. The Gambia has now become a modern state. It's a democracy. In a democracy, people talk, people decide. This is why Sadauda Jawara,
our late first president,
God bless his soul, came up with this idea that every year we used to call it Meet the Farmer Store.
Yes.
The president of the republic, elected by the people, should go and meet them face à face. Talk to them, listen to them, and hear what their major problems are. And Barrow also inherited the same thing, that was begun by Jawara. So I talked to him about it, that now because of modernity, people are now suggesting that instead of the Meet the People store, we could also have a town hall meeting. But he surprised me. He said, in fact, some African presidents have told him that they like this store and they're trying to see if they can also legislate to have Meet the People store across their countries in Africa.
Oh.
Because for some of them, after elections, they don't meet the population. So meeting the population is every 4 years, every 5 years, depending on the term limit. For the elections. So for him, the Meet the People store, maybe what could be done is to improve it. Maybe give greater.
Improve it how?
Well,
by slashing the budget, because that's one thing everybody moans about.
No, maybe
because they're saying that the last tour was allocated 30 million. They spent over 50 million.
So slashing the budget. Improving
At least it would silence those who criticize it for being costly.
Peter, even if Barrow were to sell his properties and then, single-handedly funds it, there will still be critics. In a democracy, this is the ingredient. Yeah, but criticism is the lubricant for a democracy to triumph.
But if there is a point, we accept that there is a point. Has it become too costly? And if yes, how can we, make it cheaper?
Well, again, there is normally a committee that decides these things. The presidential tour, they schedule it, they look at the people going, the vehicular movement, the security, and all that. Increasingly, things have become just expensive all over the world. The African majority of our currencies, are not as powerful as the foreign currencies. So if you live in societies where inflation, is a reality. It's a reality.
There's nothing we can do about the Meet the People.
I'm not saying there's nothing. There is always, we can always try, But then the Meet the People.
Maybe we should drag CD to the studio here and say.
Maybe you can talk about. Maybe you can bring Bua and CD here and then and talk about it. But the thing is, the Meet the People store actually is an integral part of our democracy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a component that I think we, instead of removing, we should nurture. In a town hall meeting, few people have access to the microphone. They give them time. It's an American concept, But at the Meet the People store, a whole village would go to the alcalo. They will enumerate all their problems, and the alcalo would speak on their behalf. The youth, female youth, have a speaker. The male have a speaker. The CFO will also speak. The governor will talk. So all these people, these conglomerates.
That meets the criteria of a town hall.
Yeah, but beyond a town hall, these people are given longer time to talk. They talk and explain. In a town hall, normally it's a question. If you make a statement, it's maybe 35 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. So really, I don't think the situation as it is now. A town hall might be very good for a mayor.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was actually a mayor who suggested that.
Oh, that I think.
That town hall.
Oh, really? So I think you can. So you can suggest to whoever said that I said that No.
If he becomes president, that's how he would approach the
town hall.
Town hall approach.
In every town in the Gambia.
That is, well, I mean, town hall would be an approach that would, according to
Peter,
him.
are you familiar with the media people? So you've been doing it since you joined Radio Gambia.
I've never been on a media.
You have an entire community
I have never been
converging at a football field. Yeah. If you want to organize town hall meeting in Serekunda, you know, and you want to organize one in Brikama, maybe you're going to spend the whole year town halling.
If it's cheaper than, you know, the meet the people as we know it now, why not?
Meet the people.
Right,
Anyway.
Another thing that has dogged this government is the rising cost of living. Did you talk about it? Well, apparently now we are getting good news, huh?
We talked about it, but not actually as it was just in passing. Mm-hmm. But he's very impressed that the Gambia, because of the environment, the governance environment, now investors are actually flocking to Gambia. Gambia, if you are watching, has become a mecca for businessmen across the world.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, it has. You know, a bunch of Indians all over here, you know, Pakistani and people across. In fact, I'm happy to report, it's not an advertisement, I mean, I'm also going to receive some investors from England actually coming here on the 5th.
Are they interested in media?
No, they're not. They're interested in helping, you know, have clinics for cataract surgery, you know, which is free, and then helping the village communities, particularly the women gardeners, you know, with boreholes. So they come in here for a feasibility study, and hopefully they will meet the president. I met them in 2023, and I impressed them about the situation, and then we've been working on that, and luckily they texted yesterday and said they have finally decided they're coming, and they even sent me their air tickets. So all that is because of the environment. You know, when there is chaos, when there is dictatorship, investors are scared away.
Absolutely.
You know, so the landscape has shifted and shifted significantly, and the businesses are increasing and booming and diversing. Construction is also booming. You know, so
construction is also booming. There was big noise around cement.
Yeah, I know you talked about it earlier.
There was big noise around.
No, we already discussed that.
And people started linking, you know, Jah Oil's business with the head of state. That Jah Oil is just a front.
I put that to him, and he said that is seminally nonsensical.
Oh, he used the word nonsensical.
Yes, he said he has no business with Jah Oil. That Jah Oil is an operator. I asked him, people are saying that the Gambia is now a monopoly. He said, no, Gambia is not a monopoly. You have Salam, you have the other one, what is it called?
Bamboo cement.
Gassem, whatever, Gassem, you know. And he said, so there's no monopoly in the Gambia. It's a free market enterprise economy. He cannot be involved in fixing prices. But what happens, and I agree with him, deliberately some people are also engaged in just inflating prices when there is a shortage. Price gouging, they call it in economics. You know, they hoard, and once there is a announced shortage, you know, it would just skyrocket.
Imagine.
Yeah.
650.
Yeah.
Jah Oil comes back to the market, it's selling at 415.
I know.
I mean, look at that.
I know, I'm aware, because I've been involved in construction for friends in America and Europe. I know. And most of the time they have to stop because, you know, prices rocket. We also talked about the tenure you wanted to...
Yeah, third term. The elephant in the room. The third term debate. What did he have to say about that?
The argument that Barrow may not actually contest, you know, last minute there will be a third candidate introduced, you know, and then Barrow would just exit, you know, is not true. He even asked me if I believe in that. I said, well, it's not whether I believe in it, it's what the Gambian people are saying. You know, barring all other things, except maybe in the case of infirmity, body, mind, or soul, or death, I am the candidate, he said.
Oh.
Yeah. So only death, sickness of body, mind, or soul at this stage would prevent him from contesting the December 2026 presidency. So Adama Barrow is the presidential candidate for the National People's Party come December 5th, 2026. And he's cruising to victory.
He said he is cruising to victory, or you're adding that line there?
He's cruising to victory.
Okay, you're adding that line.
No, but he's assured, I mean, he knows he will win.
Okay.
Yeah, with all the parameters looked at, you know, regardless of whatever you may think, despite all the statistics out there, you know, social media and all that, if you look at the developmental trajectory of Adama Barrow, from January 2017, to date. You know, everywhere across the Gambia, people are experiencing a facelift. I grew up in Nyomi, I told you. I trek as a schoolboy the Hakalang Road every day, 9 kilometers. Today, that is a thing of the past. You know, Adama Barrow has brought roads to Nyomi. He's brought roads to North Bank. He's brought road to Combo here. I was born in Wellingara. All we did in Wellingara was cattle farming, agricultural land. Today, you know what time I left my house this morning?
No.
At 7:40.
Yeah.
Exactly 8 o'clock I was here. When I returned to Gambia in 2018, impossible. And now, Barrow, having killed the beast of Busumbala, or the beast of Jabang, you know what the beast of Jabang was?
No, I don't.
The traffic light.
Oh.
Yeah, now we're going to have a bypass. So he has slaughtered that beast.
But people said it should have been there in the original plan.
I agree.
Whatever happened to it,
I agree.
Now it's costing us more to
I agree entirely. Okay. I agree entirely.
That's what I like about you. you accept facts.
No, because anytime I sit before this microphone, I'm reminded that in 2018 I was taken to the State House, right hand on the Quran, left on the Constitution. That I will speak truth.
Oh, that's how you swear?
Yes.
Right hand on the... So in my case, it would be right hand on the Bible and left on the
that you have... Yeah. So even though after you leave, they say he went there and lied. Yeah, but I'm always conscious of that, Peter.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So come what may, Barrow is the NPP's candidate in 2026.
There's no doubt about that.
Barring ill health.
Yeah, barring ill health.
Body, mind
or soul. Yes. Okay. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Mental, whatever.
All
body,
right.
mind, you know.
Right.
Adama Barrow is the presidential candidate.
And just finally,
of the NPP.
What's his message for the Gambian people in 2026? I have a couple of reports that I must air.
Yeah, he said he has a lot of respect for Gambians. That the Gambian people...
Oh, it's election year. He has to... He will tell us that.
But Peter, you're asking me a question. Okay. So unless if you want to answer the question... No. Yeah, I mean, I was going to tell you, he said if elected to office again, Gambians are going to witness a rapid development in both infrastructure, you know, and in any area across the spectrum, particularly in the case of women empowerment. Because of time, I cannot talk about it, but I have some statistics about thus far what the Women Enterprise Project has done for Gambian women.
Come back on Tuesday, and then we can
talk about it.
We can expand on this. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come and join Dr. Cisse, and we'll have it
on Tuesday.
We'll have it 3 ways.
Okay.
Yes, just sum it up for us.
Yeah. So basically, his message to the Gambian people is to remain civil, work harder, aim higher, avoid violence. And Peter, one thing I have to talk about is that President Barrow has also promised me that in the new year, these bureaus, the SANS, the Forex bureaus, will have to have a convergence with the relevant stakeholders, maybe the Ministry of Trade, the Interior Ministry, and the police, and sit down and map out modalities to see how to fix this constant violence where people are confronted and murdered, cold blood, in these bureaus, the SANS. You know, so in fact, it is going to be a requirement eventually, that every bureau de change should be furnished with surveillance cameras, you know, and security guards. The Gambia police force cannot provide security for all these people. No, it's way beyond their meat. But if you making millions of profit, you should be able to secure the people who bring you profits. You cannot be making millions of dollars of profit monthly, and you take somebody and hire them, and you pay them peanuts, and then somebody could just come and murder them brutally and just exit. And it becomes news 3 days later, it's no longer news. That has to be a thing of the past, he told me.
So he sees the problem being with the Forex bureaus rather than with state security, because popular opinion seems to go the other way.
Peter, because ultimately the Gambian state provides security to every Gambian citizen. But this is Gambian businesses throughout the world, in Europe, in America, in India, in Australia, wherever you go, private businesses have private security. That has to be part of the nexus. You cannot operate a business, make profits, building homes all over, yet the people working for you have no security. That cannot be under Adama Barrow's onus. But as head of state, yes, he has to make sure that the people who do this are regulated. Okay. When they are regulated, this thing, you know, will stop.
Okay. Sankareh, are you coming on Tuesday? Are
Absolutely.
You coming back on Tuesday?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
absolutely.
Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Ebrima Sankareh, spokesperson of the government of the Gambia,
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokk dara.
Country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances. Not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap. All in one. All for you. Tap in. Zap in.